Yo, yo, what's up? Skulls and Bones here, 444. Um, this is for the whole collective, divine feminine, divine masculine, and for the opposition. Okay? I'm gonna make this fast. I would like to. I got other shit to do. Let's see here. Sorry, guys. Okay. I titled this Understanding the Mind of the Karmic, aka the Serial Killer of Death Magic. Okay? And as usual, if you're seeing numbers like 111, 1111, 1010, 555, 311, 411, 911, and especially 1212, then this message is for you. Like I said, guys, as a part of the collective and being a divine feminine myself, took the time to meditate and analyze the karmic masculine psyche on a much deeper level than ever before. I say this because I took several college courses in psychology and wanted to incorporate this knowledge into trying to understand his behavior and what started his madness in regards to his love for murdering, controlling, and destroying other people's lives. Warning, big warning. I want to make clear, okay, that just because I've taken a few classes in psychology doesn't mean that I'm an expert. Okay, and I do not claim to be an expert. So here we go. However, before I delve deeper into this topic, I want to say that based on my knowledge, along with my meditation session, I was able to get a glimpse of why karmic masculine and the divine feminine had crossed paths in this lifetime. 220 on the timer. Okay. From what I could see, we met because we chose to reincarnate and understood that we had lessons to learn from each other. But unfortunately, he didn't learn anything, okay, or pass any of the tests that the divine masculine wanted him to. Okay, I say this because no matter what he did with black magic to harm the divine feminine and to try to take her out, he's never succeeded, okay, like he has before in the past. So honestly, I sense that he has been successful with four people in his past, 311 on the timer, and the Divine Feminine was supposed to be the fifth victim, okay? But with the other people in the past, he got away with it, and it made him feel empowered, okay? Because he couldn't succeed with the Divine Feminine, which was supposed to be the fifth victim here. And I think that's another reason why he's so part of why he's such an angry individual because he has failed to complete this mission of his. It means, he's lost, he's not in control, and he really is afraid of being caught for all the shit that he's done. Because, like, in my mind, I keep seeing the karmic masculine on a bicycle, just going and going and going and going. And there's no exact direction in where he's going. It's just his personality of always being on the go, always being on the go, and his actions, his thoughts, impulsivity, all of it just go, 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 go. 454 on the timer. And also, he doesn't understand why the feminine and the masculine are so protected. It's because we're the chosen ones. 5:11 on the timer. So, now here's the interesting shit. I was able to kind of dig into the past lifetime here. I just said I want to make it clear that the divine feminine and the karmic masculine had a horrible past lifetime together, especially the feminine. I sense that they were born into royalty and had been arranged to get married since childhood. But unfortunately, karmic masculine was exposed to a lot of abuse in that he saw his father abuse his mother in every way. And so he grew up thinking that it was okay. So when he married the divine feminine in a past lifetime, he treated her like shit too, because he thought it was normal behavior. 6:11 on the timer. When I saw this, it honestly reminded me of another version of King Joffrey from the Game of Thrones. I shit you not. So essentially, he made the divine feminine his slave instead of his wife. If she ever denied him something, then that was means for an ass kicking and rape. Trigger warning. Another note, see, I didn't see any children in the picture, but I think that's because, wow, 6:56 on the timer. I think that's because the feminine in the past life couldn't have kids, and she didn't know that before getting married, and he didn't know that either, obviously. But pissed off because she couldn't give him an heir to take over the throne after that. So basically, I mean, he just thought that she was useless all around. And like I said, any little fuck up, that was it. The abuse and the rape, like I said, trigger warning, it was nonstop. And I don't sense that the karmic masculine and the divine feminine had many past lifetimes together. Maybe like 2 to 3, and that's it. Okay. But on the other hand, the divine feminine, 8:08 on the timer, the divine feminine and the divine masculine have had many, many past lifetimes together. And there's always been somebody or something that keeps them from reuniting. Okay, whether it's a family issue or social status. Okay. And I think that in a past one of the past lifetimes, the divine masculine didn't come from royalty, and that's why he couldn't marry the feminine. But in this lifetime, it's turned around. The masculine and the social circle that he's been around, he's popular, and the feminine isn't. So the roles have switched. 9:11 on the timer. Hmm. When I say it was difficult for the feminine and masculine to come together because of family issues and social status in life, it kind of reminds me of like Romeo and Juliet when it comes to what is it, the Montagues versus the Capulets. The families hated each other, but Romeo and Juliet loved each other. So it to me it makes sense in the weirdest way of the social crowd uh, hates the feminine based off of all kinds of lies and shit. And at this point, I believe that the masculine, 10-10 on the timer, the masculine has been given an ultimatum of choosing the crowd or choosing the feminine, but by this time, by this point, the masculines had enough of this bullshit with the social crowd. Now that they know what the fuck, really what the fuck's been going on. 10:30 on the timer. Alright? It's weird how it plays out, or at least in my mind, I hope you all understand that. If I lost you, I'm sorry. Try my best. So yeah, past lifetime, feminine was royalty, masculine wasn't, always an issue to get together and reunite. This lifetime roles have switched. Masculine is popular from the social crowd. Feminine is not. She's been made to look like a total piece of shit. There's been an ultimatum that he's got to make. And masculine is in serious, serious regret for some of the shit that he did. 11:22 on the timer. Like I said, he's been taking out the trash. Really taking out the trash with these people. And that's why he's choosing to follow his heart finally. So the reconciliation can finally happen in this lifetime. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, not going back to the psychology part. I sense that the reason why the karmic became so controlling, arrogant, and dangerous. Alright, and based on his actions, he's considered a serial killer. Alright, it's his traumatic childhood, especially when it came to sexual abuse and let's see here, being abandoned by the ones you loved most. In my mind, what I could see was that the sexual abuse, it could have started from a male figure, um, like an uncle that came from his father's side. Okay, and this uncle was really popular. He was like a good, outstanding guy. Um, and in high authority or something. I don't know, maybe politics or a lawyer? Okay, 12:55 on the timer. But this uncle was secretly gay, and so he took advantage of the karmic. This uncle raped him quite often. Okay, because I mean he came over to visit the family a lot, and the karmic would spend the night at his uncle's house, which gave the uncle the perfect opportunity to trigger warning to rape him and introduce him to violent sex of all sorts. This type of sex entailed, one partner being controlled by another, etc. And of course, the karmic was threatened to not tell anybody, okay, including his parents, because nobody would believe him and he would get into extreme trouble. But the uncle never was specific about what type of trouble and punishment it would be. That was a mind game to just seriously make him shut the fuck up. Um, and it put the karmic masculine into constant fear. So he didn't open his mouth. Okay, based on this, I mean, what I sense is that this is when the abandonment issues started and really kicked in. Okay, and that especially when being threatened and not being able to tell your parents, okay, And your parents are supposed to protect you, but how can they protect you if they don't know what's going on because you've been threatened to shut the fuck up? So, in a way, this sounds weird. So, he felt abandoned by his parents because they couldn't save him, protect him. That's because they didn't know what was going on because at the same time, he was told to shut the fuck up. And he didn't know what punishment was gonna be. I mean, the fear was instilled in him, but I mean, does it make it right for what he's done these days? Fuck no. There is no excuse for this shit in these days. Please, for the love of God, go get therapy, man. I'm just saying, like, there's been a lot of people out there who have been through the same kind of shit and don't turn out to be like this in their later adult years, okay? So please, get some therapy. Anyways, let's see. I ended up seeing a funeral too, and I think that that was the uncle's funeral. And I think that he died from a heart attack. Okay, and it's like I could see the karmic. If I'm correct, I mean I could see the karmic sitting up front because that's how close in line the family is. And it's like this silent grin on his face, knowing that the abuse had finally come to an end. Okay? At this point, he thought about telling his parents, but I think that the trauma had been set in and he, like, it had been ingrained in his head that he was going to get in trouble. And he was still afraid of that. What kind of trouble would he get into? And that, they wouldn't believe him. This is when the psyche really took a turn for the worse. And I say this because the more death that he was exposed to via other family members and friends, he just kept feeling more and more abandoned. He questioned the divine. Okay? Questioned the divine and, why are you causing him so much misery? And because of that, he started looking elsewhere for his beliefs and for other comfort. Like today, now, it's some hella drugs, alcohol, and risky sex. But in the past, years ago, trigger warning, I think that his relationships with minors made him feel better in the sense that he took advantage of their innocence, which made him feel like he was finally in control. Because of his interactions with minors, it made him feel young again, and perhaps he could have another childhood and a better one while dating these younger girls. I know that sounds weird, and if you don't get it, I'm sorry. It's like because of the trauma and the shitty childhood from the sexual abuse, by dating minors, 1919 on the timer, by dating these minors, she could control them in terms of their mind and their actions, getting them into drugs and alcohol and shit at a fast age. And it was like he could be young and innocent with them too. Like rewinding time in his own mind to where it made him feel comfortable. And I mean, on top of that, with the drugs and alcohol, it numbed him up. So he felt good with the drugs and alcohol. Being with these minors, weird of like reliving out his childhood. Weird as shit. And because because of their age, scared, not scared to be sexual with them. Because on the one hand, he knew that if any, if they were caught, it'd be statutory rape. But the weird shit is, if he ever did get caught, and yeah, statutory rape, and they took him to jail, in his mind, that's alright. I'll go to jail for that because I had sex for love. 2112 on the timer. Very skewed vision about what love is and the different 2121 on the timer. Very skewed vision on what the difference is between love, sex, and whatnot. But the number 17 just came to my mind. So, I don't know, something prolific could have happened when he was 17. Or there could have been one chick in high school, a high school girlfriend who was 17. Hold on, I'll get to that in a second. So, anyways, yes, on the one hand, any sexual action that took place, which I think it was trigger warning. It was basically just oh yeah yeah anal because he had convinced that these girls, oh, if we do it with the anal, then it means that you haven't really lost your virginity. Oral, and yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that so I don't get in trouble with YouTube. And then on the other half, like I said, it gave him a sense of control, empowerment, and it was like he was showing these minors the way of life. Like this is, oh my gosh, wow, my heater just turned on. Confirmation. It was like he was trying to show these minors the way of life. This is how you should live. This is what love is. I mean, this is dooku dooku. But just fucked up psyche at that point, and this is what made him emotionally immature, like the Peter Pan syndrome. That's in psychology too. Go read up on it. Like, never have to grow up. I can always be a Toys R Us kid. And doesn't get what he wants. It's a temper tantrum, an adult temper tantrum, stomping the feet, crashing shit. Okay, 17, that number, and I said, I think there was one time where he tried to date a girl his age in high school. I think she was 17. He fell in love with her, but she just used him for fun and left him. And that struck up the issues again with abandonment. It's like, boy, So basically, his abandonment issues continued to escalate, and let's see. And that's when he became the monster that he is today. And throughout his teenage years, he wanted to start a new life in any way that he could, even if that meant putting up a facade to make himself the center of attention just to gain friends. And that's what he would do. 25, 25 on the timer. This behavior continued ever since. His abandonment issues are what made him turn into a very calculated person and seeing if he could get what he wanted from others, and most of the time he succeeded. After a while, he became a professional liar and manipulator to the point that he never failed, and this was an adrenaline rush to him and made him feel empowered because he could secretly control people by fucking with their psyches. And with all the dirty shit that he was exposed to as a child, it made him, his psyche got really dark and nasty. And that's how he likes to fuck with people's minds in a very dirty and nasty way, hurting them. And he feels justified because it's like misery loves company and hurt people hurt people. But again, there's no fucking excuse for the behavior this day, but get a therapy and go to therapy, please. I don't think he's ever experienced a normal and healthy relationship. And that's why he doesn't know how to love, doesn't know how to love a person without controlling and manipulating them. Having said that, he had already developed a narcissist personality, judged people on their intelligence or lack thereof. If he feels like a person doesn't match up to his intelligence or beliefs, then he thinks you're below him and will start treating you like an idiot and scold you like a child, sometimes even in public just to embarrass you. He will manipulate you into thinking that you're always wrong, playing off of your emotions, playing reverse psychology, always playing the victim, and constantly belittling and degrading you to the point that you have no self esteem left. This is what he did to the Divine Feminine when they dated for the brief 6 months and then when she left. He never thought in a million years that she was gonna leave him because he was all high and mighty on his throne. And in his mind, it's like, nobody leaves me, I leave them. But other way around. Oy. So, with that, and by that time he had developed such a big sense of grandiosity. Okay, once again, abandonment issues went up. After that, he's been determined to get revenge and to take her out over the past 7 years. But this time, he's been doing it via black magic as he fell in love with the satanic religion because whatever he asked the devil for, it was given to him immediately and without him having to work for it. He got what he wanted, when he wanted, and how he wanted. So, given this lifestyle, he sold his soul to the devil because he thought the divine feminine was an easy target and had no knowledge of the occult herself. And so, I mean, he lost at his own game. She ain't stupid. The feminine ain't stupid. I mean, at first she didn't know. For the first, at first she didn't know, but the last 3 years has been going on. Oh yeah. And she hopped on it, took care of herself, and just been using defensive and protection magic. No dark magic at all. Okay, so because he couldn't sacrifice the feminine or the masculine, because he also had the masculine wrapped around his finger too with manipulation and lies, he tried to go for the masculine next because it's like somebody's got to go, but it ain't gonna be me. Well, I think it is gonna be the karmic, cause nobody else is gonna do it. And by the way, the people that were in their like 40s to 50s in this coven, and they found out the truth of what the fuck was going on, started looking at him sideways, like you're fucking weird, dude, and you need to stop your shit, cause you have taken this to the extreme. Leave the feminine alone already. She's not meant for you. Let her live her life with her masculine. Let her go. He doesn't want to, but okay. Tower moment, yo. Alright. My dudes and dudettes. Love ya. Adios.